class, one of the same class actually, a couple years, a summer class, a year or so ago. We had a Latino student that was in the class, right? And you know, the point resonated with him. In any event, so but, you know, we put him on the hot seat, you know, and I had to find a community that was outside of the black community. And I said, so let me ask, you know, if someone that's committed to the Latino community, is it okay for anybody to talk about or share your story, even if they're right? And you know, he emphatically said, I ain't gonna repeat it, he said, he emphatically said, no. There's some things that my people can talk about that other people can't and shouldn't. You know, so I think that's a valuable lesson. I think his mistake. The report is accurate. Read it. I think it should be. I think this report should have been written so folks can really understand what's really going on. But it wasn't for him to write. You know, it would have served him best if he would have found someone else from the community that could have been respected and allowed them to write that story that he wanted to have credit for. Right. So keep that in mind. Yeah.
He did grow up where most people didn't know that.
I didn't know that. No, I definitely didn't know that.
Yeah. People just looked at, oh, he's just banging on us. But he grew up in similar circumstances, so it felt like he still talked about that.
Right. Definitely, he may have connected or identified on that level. But the greater point that I'm making is this. The greater point that I'm making is this. When you deal with people's pain, people's marginalization, it must be dealt with delicate hands. You know, sometimes I think middle America, you know, white America, to be honest, you see a couple of things different than I think than marginalized populations. But to me, I think community cohesion, or when communities come together, like Latino communities have, you know, particularly in New York City, they have the Puerto Rican parade, or you have the Afro-Caribbean parade, or you have the Black American parade in Harlem. In general, that's seen as a point of contention by larger America. The fact that an ethnic group would get together and celebrate its culture, right? Whereas that group would not see it that way. The fact that, you know, even whether it's the black community or other communities, the fact that they're celebrating their cultural or their culture, that's seen as a good thing, right? And so in addition to resisting communities coming together, the other issue becomes, well, you know, it's like pain becomes a product that we can shuffle around. Even if you do know the story, you'll go further in the black community by being patient, by being respectful, by taking the time, right? Went over to New Zealand one time. These are the Maoris they give you, particularly if you're an honorary member. This is a big deal for them to give you. I went over there, they had Bloods and Crips over there in New Zealand. So they loved a lot of stuff I was talking about. And got a chance to talk at the University of Auckland, right? They brought us there, they got us off the planes. You know, I'm there with my American group, you know, some big time scholars. I'm a doctoral student at the time. They bring us to the university in South Auckland, New Zealand. The first thing they do is this. They bring us in what's called the Marae, which is their temple, or their church, if you will. And then they sit the men over here, and they sit the women over there. They don't care about our values. Women and sexism, nope. Men here, women there. No matter of fact, the men were here in front, and the women were in the back, right? They couldn't say anything. They said hi and hello, and they were polite, but they really want to engage in a whole lot of conversation with us. They took us in the Marae, they sat us down, they asked us to be quiet, and then they prayed over us, right? To get that Americanness out of us. They didn't really care how many PhDs we had and all of that. You had that thing about children. Before y'all infect our children, let me pray over y'all real fast, so we can guard our people over here against that American imbalance of energy. Now, it was interesting because they guard their communities against folk like me, right? I had the opportunity towards the end of the trip, you know, that was at the university. They didn't actually take us to their community, even though they liked us. We didn't have the privilege. We couldn't go over to the hillside, to the rural parts of New Zealand and South Auckland and really hang with the Maori. Right? They took me at the end of the day, but it was a private trip. You know, they really had to feel like you would deal with their information and their data and their experiences and their struggle in a way that they felt was meaningful. It was not my story to tell. The story of the Bloods and Crips in amongst the Maori. And they do that in support of black men here. They have other gangs, but they bring the Bloods and Crips over there to really celebrate our struggle. But the thing that they always told me was, cherish your story. That's what they wanted me to take back to my people. Cherish your story. And things work out for me. So. Okay, all right. Let me go through this PowerPoint real fast.